I think it's time for a new chair. Oh yeah, definitely time for a new one. Here are some things that you need to know. The first thing to take into consideration is how much you'll be using the chair. If you're using the chair up to 3 or 4 hours per day, then you can choose from most chairs on the market. If you'll be using it up to 8 hours per day, then you need a performance quality chair. Finally, if you'll be using it at 8 or more hours per day, then you need a professional quality chair. Now I know what you're thinking. You use the chair all day, but do you really need a professional chair? And the answer is yes, and I'll tell you why using another item that you use a lot as an example, your bed. If you ever stayed in a hotel that had an uncomfortable bed, you probably tossed and turned all night. Not a big deal. It's one night, right? But what about an entire week? You ended up with circles under your eyes, you probably had a sore back, and you were tired. You definitely lost productivity. What if it was like that for a month, 2 months, or more? Now let's tie that back to the chair. The performance and professional chairs are made with higher quality materials and design to allow for prolonged use. A lower end chair will feel like a rock after 8 hours. If it's one day, not a big deal. You muscle through. But what about after a week? As you're constantly shifting to find comfortable positions, you're losing productivity. Extend that out a month, 6 months, or even a year. It's a lot of lost work. It makes a huge difference. The next item to consider when buying a chair is the material. The most common materials are mesh, fabric, and vinyl or leather. There are some hybrid chairs as well that combine materials such as a fabric seat with a mesh back. There are advantages and disadvantages to each. Leather chairs, for example, are comfortable to touch, but they don't breathe well. Mesh chairs, on the other hand, are extremely breathable, but they are harsher on the skin. Fabric chairs fall somewhere in between. This becomes a personal preference at this point. Some similar factors to consider around material is if you're trying to match a certain decor or other chairs already in the environment. This is where color comes into play as well. Now let's talk about features. All office chairs will have adjustable height. Many of you are familiar with this lever here. It allows the chair to move up and down. The lever can also lock the chair in an upright position by moving the handle in and out. A lot of chairs will also have the ability to increase or decrease the resistance to rocking, as you can see on this gaming chair. Simply turn the knob to increase or decrease the resistance. Some chairs will have arms that can be lifted out of the way. Others may have arms that can adjust in height or angle. More advanced features include the ability to shift the seat forward and backward, the ability to lock the back at an angle other than straight upright, and the ability to adjust the lumbar support. Now here's a little bit of common sense advice from me to you. When you first sit in the chair, if it's not comfortable, it will not be more comfortable after many hours. I know, right? Now these features that we just discussed will allow you to fine-tune the chair to fit your needs. This is especially useful if you're buying the chair for someone else or if it's going to be used by more than one person. The final item to consider is the weight limitations of the chair. Most chairs have a weight limit of around 250 pounds. Many professional chairs and all big and tall chairs are designed for larger users. If you keep these 4 items in mind when buying your next chair, you'll find one that's right for you. Have a great day.